So we're gonna look at the markets. We're gonna start with Bitcoin. We're gonna talk about how you kind of know when to dip by, right? So if you look at Bitcoin, I got this downtrend here drawing, and you can see that it has broken this downtrend. And now the next thing you would look for is for it to reclaim this like 41,500 level, about around there, basically where this support was at. You're not looking at that as resistance. So if Bitcoin can't reclaim that, then it's going to continue going down. If it do reclaim that, we probably can make a nice move higher. I don't know how high we go or how long it lasts. And one thing you got to be mindful of is the fact that you get bounces in bear markets. I think the Nasdaq had bounced like 50% at one point during the .com crash. I mean, that lasted for a while, right? So I don't know how much Bitcoin is truly worth. I know this is a good trade right here. Some might say it's a great long-term investment to be buying down here. That's always debatable. I don't know. I just follow what the charts say, right? So right now, it do look like a good buy if we can reclaim that level. So you would take that mindset to any stock, any ETF, anything. IWM is in a similar situation. You got a downtrend here, and you got some consolidation. Like I've been saying before, I don't know if this is a good buy. If it break this downtrend, I mean, it's probably going higher. If you can reclaim that 212 level, you're probably going higher. Something I'm looking at that it chips. So AMD have reported good earnings, and you got this downtrend here that it's in, and it could potentially go break it. I believe it has um, enough catalyst to go break it. You had good earnings, you got price target upgrades, all that kind of stuff. You see this downtrend here where I connect these points. If I plot the anchor VWAP from there, you can see the orange line is where that trend is really at, right? So if we get over 126.50, we're probably going to break out. So that's something that I'll be looking for this week coming up on the week of the 7th, February 7th. Something else is Boeing. You see all these points here were rejected that I got highlighted. And you can see that is the anchor VWAP from October earnings. I want to say it was. Yeah, so October earnings. It's crazy, right? How this stuff worked. So if you just follow this anchor VWAP and use it as your guide, we break above this. We break above basically like 210. I mean, we got room to go higher, and we got a little bit of a rectangular flag thing kind of going on here. That'll be an easy play. Something else that I'm watching is Affirm. Uh, I mean, if this breaks out, they had some price target upgrade. I think I made a video the other day saying I didn't know why it was up as much as it was towards the end of the month, like a week ago or something like that. It was because they had upgrades. And Visa has reported good earnings. I thought it was a sympathy play, but they got upgraded too at that same time. With Bitcoin rising the way it is, you got to watch stuff like PayPal. You got to watch stuff like Coinbase. I thought Coinbase was going to flush because Bitcoin was still in that downtrend. So I don't have any more short positions on this since Bitcoin is breaking out. Um, Target is another one. They got earnings on the 1st of March. And like I said a few weeks ago, it's in this broadening formation that it's just been chopping around 210, 220 really. And you got a downtrend here. It's kind of forming like a wedge triangular type thing. But if we can break this downtrend, I mean, this has gotten some price target upgrades recently too, in like the 250s, 260s, 270s, stuff like that. So, I mean, we go test the upper channel of this broadening formation over the next few weeks, next couple months. I mean, that'll be a real big move. So, GM was something that I've been seeing some orders come in for, and it's in a decent demand zone. I'm not 100% sure this bounces. Haven't looked into this too much as to what the catalysts even are, but they had earnings recently. Look like they popped on their earnings. We'll see where it goes from here. If it can break out, because I mean, you got stuff like Tesla running, Tesla trying to break out. I'll say had a nice bounce. We looked at this bounce a couple weeks ago when I was saying that I thought markets could flush. I took a look back and said, hold on, there's a lot of stuff looking like it could bounce. Tesla did bounce. and that's kind of just been holding up. The banks, they reclaimed. See, I thought they was gonna start to flush with the way Spy got his wig knocked off at that golden fib level. But the banks, they bouncing and they running. So when you dip buying, as long as you got a trend and you got some support, take it. Take it for sure. Always trim in supply areas like where people resistance. That's where everybody's selling. I mean, you can look at this and see that everybody's selling every time the banks get this high. So you play a bounce, take profit in resistance zones, and just go from there. Really, um, something like Netflix, it started to try to fill this gap. I don't know if it does bounce, but I mean, it's bouncing right at the level that I had plotted. Um, I'm just not sure. I'm just not sure. Snapchat went crazy after earnings. A lot of people, I'm sure, were shorting Amazon going into earnings, and that thing skyrocketed. Facebook was a complete disaster. That had markets down a lot. Amazon kind of did come through and save the day. What else we had? Bill. I was trying to get an entry on Bill. It was trying to break out, and I was gonna play it over 198, but it failed to take it. Right, so then it start rejecting, and then it just gap up overnight with earnings. So I completely missed that play, but that one would have been nice. You got oil. I think is at like 7 year highs or something like that, or been going up for like 7 weeks, something like that. I think it's at the highest it's been since like I guess about 7 8 years, something like that. It's in the 90s. Oil is in the 90s. So and then just spy here, really, still basically chopping around. We are. I mean, this is the most technical. Like this thing has been truly technical the past couple weeks. You sell off, you get oversold, you bounce, you reject at your golden fib, and then you bounce right here at your 0.382 level. So I don't know what happens next. I don't have a clue. All I know is we're just gonna continue to trade what we got. And as a trader, you can be a long-term investor that way. So I know if I wanted to buy more SPY, I just play this breakout. I just let it break out and buy some. And that would be a difference of, we'll say, 6%, 7% there. But it's like, what are the odds that somebody guesses this is the bottom out of all levels, right? So it's like, yeah, like I always say, take a shot and trim as you go until you figure out what's going on, right? So you bounce here and you come back down. I did add a couple of shares in my Roth IRA, right? So now I know, okay, if it comes time to if we start flushing this, I'm just gonna sell because I wouldn't want to be in that. It's not a good investment. No matter what your thoughts are on the market, if this ain't trading the way it's supposed to trade in a bullish matter, you got to be bearish. I mean, you just kind of trade what you get. So I always really leave my opinions at the table, all that kind of stuff. Because even like Snapchat, this was something I thought when it was in the 50s, and I was just telling somebody early in the Discord earlier. I was like, remember back in November, I was like, this is about to bounce and go crazy, and it just kept flushing. It just kept flushing. I never thought Snapchat would have got down to 20 something dollars, but it did. And it's just kind of like that's just kind of how the market has been. Even something like Disney, I'm shocked that it made its way down to the 130 level. It's like it's Disney, you know what I'm saying? So you really just got to trade what you get. We start breaking levels, you start taking losses, um, or we start breaking levels to the upside. You add to positions. It's okay to add to green positions. You always got to remember that too. And even Boeing, I thought this was flushing. Last time I mentioned this in the video, it was flushing. We set up a pin bar and been bouncing ever since. So yeah, I could have took a shot if I was truly interested in Boeing. Yeah, I would have took a shot, added there, right? Because you got clear indication of support there, and then we start flushing. I just take my loss, right? So that's kind of a like a 12% difference. But if somebody was truly, if I was truly that interested in buying, I would have taken the shot. Um, I just think I just like the reopening stuff. I mean, I don't know if it's gonna work this year, but I feel like it should. But we'll see. But I mean, we don't know. I mean, I don't know. So that's just kind of how I play dip buying. That's kind of what's going on in the market, and you just really take it day by day and understand the long term perspective of what's going on with the Fed, what's going on with stocks in general, and what's specifically happening in these charts because everything doesn't always bounce. And I mean, a lot of stuff hasn't bounced. I mean, how many times did people say this has sold off enough? Like I keep mentioning this. How many times did people say ARK had sold off enough, right? So it's been selling off since January of last year, and we're down 60% or 50, probably like 50%, right? So just because something gets cheap does not mean it can't get cheaper. If something get cheap, it's probably going to get cheaper. That's kind of the mindset that you gotta have and understand that not everything does bounce, everything doesn't come back. So just be conscious of what you're buying and don't buy something just because everything's not a discount. This is bad. This is a horrible chart. This is horrible. This is not good. So you got to ask yourself, what are the odds that this is the bottom? What are the odds that this was the bottom? Why would that be the bottom? Why would this be the bottom? I don't know. But until we break this downtrend, I'm not interested in buying. Uh, DraftKings was something else that had been mentioned in the Discord with the Super Bowl coming up. It's a great idea. It makes sense that DraftKings would run going into the Super Bowl. But if it doesn't break this downtrend, it's nothing I can do with it. We break out of this, I think DraftKings can make a nice move higher. So it's just stuff like that, being conscious of what's going on, understanding that every catalyst doesn't always work, and you have these thoughts and just let that guide you to look at different stocks, uh, and then just play the chart that you have. So even Roblox is something. I mean, I thought the metaverse was about to be the craziest thing ever, and this just been plummeting. It took off after earnings back in November, but pretty much after that, it's just been downhill from there. And like we already looked at Facebook earlier, this is just sick. So it's like, who truly knows? Like every idea sounds great. We don't know if it's gonna work, so you just play what you get and go from there. But make sure y'all like and subscribe. Join the Discord if you're interested in trading at investorsanonymous.net. And I'll catch y'all for the next video.